Alright guys, it's Ryan from RJ Martindale. I run 2 plumbing and heating businesses in the Northwest. It is now 12:30 Sunday afternoon and I go to Dubai with Sarah and the kids in about 6 hours. I'm in the office making sure everything's straight, and I thought it would be good to do a video to show you my thought process into making sure when I go on holiday or you go on holiday, the business is still taking calls, booking jobs, and most importantly, making money when you're not there. Let's get into it. So yeah, it's a little bit different now because we've got the office and we've got more engineers, but I will touch on some of the things that I would have done differently if I was on my own in a van. Let's say it was just me, and then if I had another engineer, an apprentice, and basically the stage is up to having somebody that is answering the phone in the office, because there's a lot of things that I would have done differently. The last thing that you want when you're going on holiday, if you're a business owner, is you're not taking calls, you're not booking jobs, and the thing you forget about is when you get home from your holiday, it's a dead start. That's not what you want, because before you know it, you can go away from a week and lose 2.5, 3 weeks of progress. I'll talk about that on the whiteboard in the back. But even having said that, in the position that we're in now, I mean, I think I wrecked Daniel's head yesterday at about 5 to 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon, because I was looking at the diary, and part of the reason why I'm in now, and it's not set up, it's not efficient. It's very easy to just fill the diary and go through the motions. That's not what I want. Daniel in particular is in a position now, this hybrid role. So if you're not sure who Dan is, he was initially my apprentice, became qualified, become a great engineer, but he's in this transition period now of quoting jobs for us, so replacing what I would do, surveying, quoting, and the day-to-day operation of the diary. Now, that being said, when I'm looking at his diary, he's got quotes sporadically booked throughout the week, which is no good, because he's in the hybrid position where I still need him installing 3 days a week. Now, if you've got random quotes, it makes it difficult to get them installations in. So ideally, I need Daniel doing his quotes 2 days a week. And then if he does need to get an emergency quote out, he's got the movement to do it. But as it's set up now, there's no way of him doing installations. And to give you an idea of what I need is I want roughly 12 to 15 installations across boilers, aircon, cylinders, full day installations being carried out every week. If I run through the diary, Scott, one of our installation engineers, he's actually away on holiday, so I don't need to worry about Scott, but it puts even more pressure on to make sure that the business is still making money while he's away. So I absolutely need to make sure Danny's getting installations in, leveraging the likes of Theo and Aaron, our apprentices that are near enough qualified, and also making sure Luke is has got installations booked for the full week, which he has. That's great. In terms of our service engineers, we've got Dave. I want him fully booked all week on services, well, for the next couple of weeks while I'm away. And that leaves us with, on the RGM side, Ben and Matt. Matt will be dealing with home care emergencies that are coming in, and also non-home care. And then we'll have Ben that is just dealing with reactive work, paid work that is coming in, not home care. So we're making sure that there's still cash flow coming in. It's easy again to start booking the diary up when you're doing service plans with initial inspections, with servicing, when it doesn't need to be done. It can be optimized much better. So that's what I'm working on now. I've also got a list from Sue in accounts. There's a number of people that I need to pay: clothing, branding, marketing, accountants. I'll make sure that all them are boxed off, the diary's sorted, so then when I go away, I'm cool, I can settle down. I still go on my laptop normally when I'm away on holiday. I'll get up in the morning, if I can go for a run, but I've never been to Dubai before and it may be hot, or it is hot, so I don't know about that one. But I like to have a coffee, get on my laptop and do about half an hour, and I can just chill for the day then. And I'm not doing anything specifically working, I'm just looking at the P&L, the jobs that are being done, and that just everything is moving forward. So yeah, I'll crack on with this now, and then I will show you on the whiteboard some of the things I would have done differently if I was on my own. One thing that Dan and the team have done is made sure that any outstanding invoices are all boxed off. I think I've had one to do, which is great, and any any Trellos that have come through, which is our ticket system, the internal communication from our engineers. Let's say they've got a job off a job or remedial or any outstanding quotes that need doing, all them have been done. And a good thing that is great to see is Dan has just won his first underfloor heating job, which was about 16 grand, which he's not quoted anything above 3-4 grand. So brilliant work from Dan there. And that will just give him confidence that in pushing forward into quoting and getting bigger jobs over the line. So yeah, I'll jump on the whiteboard now. I will just touch on the BHE side, what we've done with the BHE side. Stuart again is on holiday. I like it that the engineers are taking holidays at this time of year where it is that bit quieter as opposed to in the middle of winter. But we've still got to make sure that the cogs are turning. Connor is dealing with a load of servicing that is due this time of year for the student accommodation. So he's booked up for the next 3 to 4 weeks, which is great. And we'll utilise Warren, that again's on another hybrid role, that at the minute is tied up with health and safety. Health and safety is something that I've always neglected. You don't really think about it up to 5 engineers, up to 5 people. But we've gone from 5 to 17, 18 very quick and not done anything with it up until the last 3-4 weeks. I'll not get into it too much on this video, but with the health and safety, all our engineers have needed to take, we've got little exam things, certificates, a qualification in itself that is needed to be done, and getting the vans where they need to be, getting the office where they need to be. And Warren, that's been taking loads of Warren's time up, but I still will leverage Warren for the afternoons for reactive emergencies. So if BHE are getting any breakdowns in Bolton, Warren can jump on them. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Right, I'll jump on the whiteboard. So yeah, you're going away on holiday, mega, but what we don't want to find is we lose customers, don't answer the phone, and then when you get back, you've got a lot of mess to deal with. And this is more for reactive businesses, service businesses that are potentially taking, you could be taking a couple of calls a day, up to 10, 15, 20 calls a day. This is where it's a problem. If you're in a business where you're booked up for 6 months and you might only be taking a call a week or whatever, then it may be a bit different. But for us, well, for me personally, that is in that reactive boiler, plumbing, emergency service industry, as well as now, which is more important, offering service plans to customers, you absolutely must be answering the phone. If you don't, you will soon lose that. You'll lose them customers fast. The moment you stop answering the phone, it's game over, because there'll be somebody like us that will be answering the phone that will take that work. So a bit different now because we've got the office. I've just spoke about we've still got to optimise the diary. What I'm going to do is the girls in the office will take the calls as normal through 9 till 5, and then out of hours I divert my number over to Dan. So Dan will take any emergencies, any calls, and in most cases if we get an emergency, we're not going out through the night at all. We'll explain to the customer how to turn the stop tap off if that's the case, and we're going back the following day. I'm not having my engineers working through the night. There is no reason to do that. So yeah, if they call before 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, we're there the same day. If they call in getting on to 3, 4 o'clock, we're there the following day. So that's what we do now. Very simple. I've just got to make sure the diary is optimised for installations and reactive work and the cogs keep turning. But if I was on my own in one van, this is what I would do. So at this point, it's just me and I've got one van. What I used to do is, let's say they send a text message to me, you would find a local engineer or a local business and you would send the customer to that business. But in that case, this local engineer or local business will carry out the job, and then you may find that you've lost that customer. That's not what we want. What I did do further down the line, which I should have done from the start, is look for a VA. Or in other words, a call answering service. We used Type It Office Services. The cost might have been 300-400 quid a month as we got bigger, but at the start, 50 to 100 quid a month, and then they charge you per call. What this does, we can go into this further, but you, before you go on holiday, you would speak to these people. And I believe if you're in a van on your own and you're in this industry, you should have them from the start. But that's another video in itself. The call answering service, what they will do is you will divert your number to that call answering service. We use somebody local in Bolton. They will take the call between the hours of 9 and 5. They will take all the information from your customer, name, address, job information, and then at that point, they would instruct the local engineer or the business to carry out that job for you. That's if it needs doing. If it's an emergency, or for instance, you're offering service plans and you're thinking, how do I go away and I've got service plans to look out for? This is what I will be doing. Your virtual assistant takes the job. In my case, I paid to train my call answering service to understand Commusoft, our CRM software. So they understood how to take the details, book a job in the diary, and then they can instruct this engineer to carry out the work. And that engineer doesn't invoice the customer, they invoice you. And you deal with that when you get back. Now you may feel that that's another cost to you, but it's a bigger cost losing the customer. So that is definitely what you need to look at doing. Your call answering service as well. The other thing is if you're taking calls while you're away, these could be quotes for jobs, quotes for boilers, electrical works, reactive work, whatever it is, you want them loading your diary up for the day that you get back. So when you get back on that Monday, Tuesday, whatever it is, you've got a day booked of, it could be jobs or it could be surveys that need doing, and you can jump on that straight away. If you're a bit of a geek like me and you do half an hour to an hour's work in the morning, these, if there's a quote coming in for, let's say it's a boiler or a job that needs quoting, you instruct these to get pictures off that customer. Can you just send us a WhatsApp please or an email with the information of the job? And in the morning, you could get that quoted and done and booked in for the day you get back. So everything is still working. So that is what I would do if it was just me on my own in a van. So at this point, we've gone away again. We're 12, 18 months further down the line. We've got 1 to 2 vans and maybe a couple of engineers. At this point, we now no longer need this local engineer. Yeah? We're self-sustainable without anyone else, but we're leveraging the VA. At this point now, you may feel that you don't need this call answering service. You've got your other engineer, he can answer the phone. That is another mistake that you can easily make, because what these engineers will do is just go through the motions because they don't know any different. They don't understand. So what you want to be doing is taking your call answering service, your VA, whoever you've got that's answering your phone, to another level. To do that, you need strict guidelines as to what they're doing when they're answering the phone. These must have thought I were mad when I first approached them, because instead of most call answering services are just a message board, they take the information. I wanted to take it to another level. I mean, I had some daft ideas when I was younger, but this was a cracker. I went in and paid for them to do the training on our plumbing and heating software. What that enabled was them to book service reminders, invoice jobs, book the diary up. So what these will do while you're on holiday is populate that diary, get that diary running efficient so the lads are busy, and then the lads don't need to worry about answering the phone, because that's the biggest worry as well for the engineer. Even me now, I don't like answering the phone because you're not prepared for it. Getting all the name, address, everything formatted correctly, where they found us from, marketing information, email information, all this is super important. These are doing it day in, day out. They're much faster, much more efficient, and they can get that diary loaded up. And again, if it comes to quoting, you can be instructing them to get some images, the engineers can verify them images, and these can put a price together and get it over the line. So at this point, you can even be quoting and converting jobs while you're away. Brilliant. I was never doing this a few years ago. And yeah, the third stage. So at this point, you're dialed in, you know that you can go away on holiday, and the business, the cogs will keep turning. And I'm referring to holiday, but this may be, you might be going away on training, or you could end up ill, sick. If you've got this stuff dialed in, it takes so much pressure off you. So yeah, definitely one to look into. Call answering service, virtual assistant, whatever, get onto it. But from here, we progress to an office. Now, when you get your office and you get somebody that's going to start answering the phone, you don't kill your relationship with here straight away. I kept these on board while I was training Joanne in the office. So while Joanne was learning, she didn't have too much pressure of answering the phone. I wanted her to understand the systems, CRM system, how the business works, how the jobs run. So we still had the VA answering the phone and Joanne slowly starting to take over. But at this point, I'm telling them that I've got a girl in the office, and these understand that businesses grow and eventually they'll not be needed. But if you're in a situation where you've only got one girl in the office, you absolutely should have these as a backup. These should always be on standby. So if Joanne ends up sick, these can step in. But further down the line then, at some point where we are now, or should I say around 2021, we then didn't need the VA. We start progressing into a full-time office. But again, the office need training. We're in a funny situation now where the engineers, the girls in the office, need optimizing. The diary needs optimizing. So that is what we're working on now, which I'll give you a bit of a run through of the new layout of our team. Because at the minute, we've got more girls answering the phone. We've pulled Sue away completely. Sue is our full-time bookkeeper / accounts. She's working for RGM and BHE. I've pulled her away completely from the phones. So I've got 3 ladies answering the phone, Joanne, Louise and Catherine. But it's almost like a bit of a free-for-all. And what happens then is they're not keeping an eye on the engineers day to day. So what I'm doing now is segmenting them into teams, 3 teams with engineers, which I'll give you a quick run through there. But I'm hoping this has give you an insight as to how you can be more efficient and not worry when you're going away, or you're sick, or training, whatever. If you found it useful, let me know in the comments. So in our office now, we've got 3 ladies answering the phone. We've got Joanne, Louise and Kat, and they're going to now be split into teams. Joanne is going to have Theo, Aaron, Scott, Luke. Louise is looking after Ben, Dave and Matt, and Catherine is looking after Stuart, Connor, Dan and Warren. So previously, what would happen is the 3 girls would just answer the phone and react to whatever jobs were coming in. And then they would look at the diary across all these engineers and then just place the jobs where they can. But what I've been finding over the last couple of months, even while it's quiet, is nobody is taking control of a specific engineer's diary. So what that would look like for me is I'm going into a week and you could have one engineer that's redlined and another that is not working, because the girls, they've got loads of other things aside from just answering the phone that they're doing. This, putting them into teams, for instance, Joanne dealing with Theo, Aaron, Scott and Luke, she will be shadowing them engineers throughout the day. So when the engineers are booking jobs and they're in the system, Joanne will be making sure that jobs are completed, any estimates, jobs off jobs, are being dealt with on the day. The engineers have got marketing material, so that's the stuff that we're handing out to customers. They're making sure that these engineers have got it, and they're coming back to me and telling me how much of this stuff has gone out week to week. Service reminders. So if these engineers are going into a week and they're looking quiet, instead of Joanne or any of the girls looking across all the engineers, she's just laser focused on these 4. So if she feels that they're quiet, she can look at pulling service reminders into these diaries. And the other thing is warranties. If them engineers have installed a boiler that day, Joanne is making sure that all the warranty information is sorted. So yeah, on the flip side, from the engineer's point of view, if Ben, Dave or Matt have got an issue on a job, or they're running late or whatever, and they need to speak to the office, they're going direct to Louise, because Louise is their team leader. Don't worry lads, I'm only kidding. But they'll go direct to Louise for support. If they're struggling with anything, that's who they go to a point where instead of them just ringing the office, I'm going to get a direct number for these girls. And also, when these girls are when they're looking at the diary over the next couple of weeks, if they feel that one of their engineers is quiet, I'm holding them accountable to come to me to make sure that I drive leads and make sure that they've got working. If the work's not there, it's not there, but at least they're proactively looking at that, where before, they certainly wasn't, not the same as they are now. So again, it's all trial and error. This is a new thing that we're working on, and I also want to see how many engineers a lady in the office can deal with. My mate, Mr. Dick Puller, he said that it should be 20 engineers to one lady in the office. I think that these girls can comfortably do 6 to 7. Our middle management now, our office team is not going to change, but I want to roll out to put 20 vans on the road. I think we've got the team to do it, but certainly the diary, team structure and everything will be a big part for us getting to where we need to be. So yeah, bit of a maybe boring one, but I'm hoping I've given some decent insights, decent information. The engineers can also see this is what we're working on. I've not actually done a specific video for them yet. So yeah, that's another one. I've got to go and get back, pack. I'll try and get this video out. Obviously, I'll be away. But yeah, if there's any value, drop us a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.